Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Ethereum. Before we jump into the price action, I want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below. For everyone who has been subscribing recently, thank you very much. We do appreciate it. We're over that 500 subs now, so we do appreciate it, everyone. Thank you for your support. Okay, so let's get into it. Basically, within the structure, we're talking about potentially looking to break down. We're also talking about how we could be completing in here, and we could be looking for a 5-wave move up into this white box area. So we were talking about all these sort of things yesterday, and we have actually moved up here and taken out this high point, and we've actually broken this channel that we were plotting off of these highs here. So it is possible we get a retest and then we actually look to move to the upside here for another wave with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to be discussing some of the potential things. So it is possible we can argue that we are forming a 5th wave to the upside here, and the way that we would be looking at that effectively would be something like this. So we got two things we want to talk about. I'm just going to talk about this move in isolation, and then we're going to talk about this move from back here. So if we are looking for this move as a 5-wave move from this point here, looking for the potential that we have a 4th wave here, and we're actually looking to break to the upside, effectively what we could be looking at is a 1, 2, 3, and now our support zone for this 4th wave would be the 1663 to the 1625. For as long as we hold this zone, we could potentially still look to push up here. And effectively, the target area of the 0.382, which is this line over here, would be this 1729 to the 1708. So if we didn't move down further, that target zone would be slightly lower. It would be 1718 to 1704. So this is something we need to just see how we play out here, because the subwaves within here are indicating it could be completed into here as a 3. So we have to get a bigger 4th wave here, because if we're looking at this, we'd have to look at this as a 1, 2 from here, and then this would be a much bigger sort of correction here. So we want to see something similar in size to this play out here. And it is quite complex as well, so it wouldn't surprise me if we get a zigzag in here, which if we do get a zigzag, potentially we could look to hit this 0.382, or alternatively lower down the 1625. So if we were going to look at this potentially as a zigzag, we'd have to say it completed into this low point here. And effectively what we'd be looking for is something like this to play out. So if I come into here, we'd be looking for something like this to play out as an A, up in a B, and then looking for that C wave to the downside. So this is something that for as long as we stay below the 1696 can still play out. And that rejection zone, if I zoom in here, we can see is between this 50% and the 786. So this 1688 to this 1678. So it is possible that we could form a shorter B wave here and actually look to break down of the 382. However, normally, generally speaking, they do come up a bit higher. Potentially this 50% would be where I'd be looking for. So we just got to keep an eye on it. We also need to be careful of extension here to the downside, and basically I'm going to take it off this point here. If we move down past this 1629 directly from here, it is possible we could have this as a 1, 2, and then this is an additional leg to the downside where we form this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got a couple of options which we're going to talk about in this. So we're going to just go over them. So make sure you stay tuned so you can see all of those potentials. So 1 to 1 would actually be the 1647. However, basically coming down deeper past this 1629 could indicate that we have a bigger structure. So this is something that we would just need to be aware of within this structure. Off of this current high point, our 1 to 1 would actually be the 1639, which would actually bring us right back in line with this area here. But like I said, that 382 is also sitting in this range of 1642, so it could be somewhere within this range here that we look to retest if this is going to progress up as a 4th wave. So we're looking for the evidence of this 4th wave. So like I said, I'm looking for this push to the upside. If this push to the upside actually crosses this 1740, then we need to actually have a look at this move potentially from further back, where we can argue that we have a 1, 2 here again, in which case we could have this as a 3rd wave here, as a 1, 2, 3, and then looking for this as a 4th and a 5th. There wouldn't be a lot of room for this 4th wave to develop. So Yeah, I'm a bit reluctant to look at this one unless we get some extension here and this third wave actually continues up, which would make, if that does actually play out, then that would potentially give this fourth wave a bit more room to actually play out without coming down into that fifth wave territory. The problem with looking at it like this is, so this would have had to be in a flat here then as a one flat, and then basically looking for this as a five wave move. And like I said, we haven't reached the 1740 area. So if this is a flat, typically speaking, we're going to get a zigzag in the fourth wave, which would typically move down to 50%. So even if we just cross that line, 50% would actually be overlap of this. But it is possible we could get a smaller zigzag, which would settle on this 382, which actually, off of that 1.618, would actually just align with sitting back in this fourth wave area if this is a fourth. So it is something that we just need to monitor. If we do get a bigger move up here to the 1740, it could trigger a move that is a bit bigger here, and we could look to potentially move to the top of this white box range, or alternatively, if we do extend, we could actually look to challenge this top channel line here. Depending on how long this takes, this would be around the 1800 area. So if we do push up, that could be a zone we actually look to complete, and then we'd be looking for that fourth wave to the downside. There's two ways that we can look at this. So there's looking for this to actually complete in a single move here, and this actually completes the move, and then we look to break down for a deeper correction. Or alternatively, the other way that I'm looking at it is that we could have the potential to form something like this. So basically this would then indicate that we have an additional fourth wave after we get this fifth wave push. So if we get this fifth wave push to the upside here, we could potentially break back down for a fourth again, looking to target out this same zone, and then looking for a continuation to the upside. So I mean, this is obviously loose at the moment because we don't know if we're going to get this additional fifth wave here. But basically, if we did, we could argue then that if we came into that red box area and we came back down into this previous zone, that we could look to push up towards this 1930 to this 1836, depending on how deep we go. The deeper we go here, the higher that target would be. And it also changes depending of whether this third wave actually retests that 1800 zone. So yeah, it is possible we could see this extend out slightly, and then we could actually look to retest that $2,000 area as a fifth wave. So this is what we're going to be keeping an eye out on the bigger picture here. If we don't get the correct structure here though, then I do think that we could see something else play out. We're going to talk about the potential that we could have some more sideways movement coming in here. So for the most part, I'm still looking for this to prove itself. This is the one that I'm currently watching, but if we lose this 1625 and we actually break down past the 1605, it would invalidate it. So that would invalidate this. If we lose these lows of this 1535 and this 1518, this bullish potential here would be invalidated, and then we'd have to look at a more corrective structure. So we were talking about this being looking to progress to the downside from here. So there's two ways we can look at this, and it's it is quite, if it is a corrective structure, it'll be a very complex one, because basically what we would be looking at then is that we have two ways we can look at it. So either we look at this as an A, B, C into here, we get an X wave here which fails to develop this fifth wave to the upside, so this just becomes a zigzag, and then we break down from this area here, and that's just basically a ABC for, so a flat, running flat for an A wave, an X wave as a zigzag, and then we could get either a Y wave or a C wave if this does play out. So this is just something that there is potential. If we don't prove this move to the upside, then effectively we could actually still look to break down, and this zone that we could potentially look to target out would actually be this within this white box area if this does play out. And we'd be looking at this, like I said, either we can look at it as an A wave into here, a B and a C, or alternatively this is an A, this is a A, B, C as a flat. So even if we do get this additional 5 wave move to the upside here, we need to be careful that this isn't still part of a 4th wave correction, looking at it from further back, because even if we do push up here, 1741 would be the confirmation of this as an impulse. So we'd need to just be careful on this structure, that if we fail to hit this 1618 and we're looking at this potentially as a bigger 5-wave move, then basically we would invalidate this move. So this could just become a 3-wave move, where we then have this as an A flat for a B and a C wave, and then we look to break down for that C, and this becomes a bigger corrective structure. So if this does play out, effectively I'd be looking at this regards to this count, where we were looking for this deeper fourth, which I said we came into this channel area, but if this does move more sideways like this, it would satisfy this more, and then I'd be looking potentially for this move to come down one more time, potentially look to actually come back into this channel and potentially look to test the bottom of it again, and then look for that 5th wave to the upside. So this is just a couple of possibilities. Nothing's confirmed here, and until we stop following this 5-wave move, I'm going to be following that as a preferred count. But if we do actually start to show signs of weakness and break down here, lose that 4th wave position, cross this wave 1 top and start to break these lows, this would be the zone I would be looking at. And so the white box is this 1535 to this 1389, and then this smaller box here is basically just looking if this develops as a flat correction as a zone that it could go to. However, a 1-to-1 of the Y wave is much higher here at this 1533, so you see this green line. So if we do just get a WXY, it is possible that this could fall short in here again and actually not even interact with this channel line. So that's just something that we got to bear in mind. If we fail to confirm this 5-wave structure to the upside, and even if we just have this 5-wave move here, we're going to have to be careful, because like I said, either this can be the completion of that 3rd wave in the other count, and then we have a 4th and a 5th, or this could just be a corrective structure here. So it's unfortunately it's a little bit vague depending on which way you want to count the move. We're just trying to give you all the possibilities, so if one way happens, then you have a count. If it doesn't happen that way, we have another count. But yeah, the other thing I wanted to talk about here is it is also possible we could see something like this play out, because we were talking about the potential of this being an ABC. We can argue that we could still have something play out like a triangle here. So even if we do get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside, and like I said, if it doesn't hit that 1.618, we could argue that we could still see a triangle play out here, but it would be very early days. And what we would be looking for then for confirmation of this is, if this move does have one more push up here from that high point, we'd want to see basically a 3-wave move that actually fails to break this A wave low. I've just drawn this trend line here off these bottoms, but it can change slightly. It could move down slightly like this, but invalidation would come actually by breaking this 1518 zone. If we do get this move complete, then effectively that could form something like this, potentially even on the channel. It depends how this move plays out. If we fail actually to develop this additional 5th wave up here, I'd start looking at the potential that actually what we could have is one of those corrective structures, though nothing would be confirmed until we actually break this 1535 and this 1518. If we do have a triangle playing out here, effectively what we would see is corrective structure in between these waves, and it would just be range bound, potentially contracting something like this. So it's just, this is, like I said, unfortunately this is early days on this. So I mean, if this is a triangle, we still have a C wave to play out and a D wave before we get confirmation, but it's just keeping an eye out on it. If we do get a bigger triangle like this, I would be looking for this as the potential 4th wave within this move. And then actually we just look to complete a 5th wave to the upside, and that would then complete that bigger 5-wave move in my opinion. So that's what we're going to be keeping an eye on. Okay, so we're going to leave the video there. I hope everyone found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below. We're always happy to hear from you guys, and in the description below you will also see a link to the Discord. Why not come check it out? It's free to join. Once you're in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff. We'd be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Also in the description below, you'll find affiliate links to BYBIT and PrimeXBT, both great exchanges. We use them on the regular when we're doing our trades, whether that's for just crypto or commodities in the case of the PrimeXBT. Really are great exchanges to use. So why not check them out? If you don't have an account, they do have a deposit bonus, but you have to reach the requirement, which can be found on the website. So why not check it out and have a look and see what you think. If you don't have one, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, so we do appreciate it. And yeah, we'll leave it there. Hope everyone has a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.